Hey, we are here with Red and Tooth and Claw, our Star Wars Burning Wheel hack that we've been going through. This is episode... Oh, I don't remember. It's up there. I think it's episode like 8 or 9 or something. I'll check real quick. But yeah, we're still on Jebel, still on the ice planet. There are pirates attacking everyone and currently holding a bunch of people hostage. Y'all are going to have to figure that out. Episode 8 is what this is. Of Red and Tooth and Claw. Last time we didn't have Chad, so for his sake and for everybody else's sake, I'll do a little bit of a recap here just to remind everybody what's happening. So the session before last, Ryu and Elowin had been taken captive by the pirates and brought aboard their ship, the Dawn Chaser, which was in port on Jebel on this mining outpost that you guys are hanging out on, awaiting repairs. And you guys were heading back with your repairs when you realized the pirates were attacking. And y'all made it back, but got captured, right? Ryu and Elowin made it back, but got captured. They sent Riss Averin, the fallen Padawan that you guys found in the mining caves, off somewhere to hide with the materials that you need to repair your ship. So that is still a thing you guys gotta figure out, is like find where she is and get your ship fixed. But Fang and Jin were... kind of lost in the shuffle in the mining caves. They had to go back for Riss's lightsaber, and ended up having to kind of, meander behind everyone else. And they couldn't get up the normal way, so they had to climb up a maintenance shaft. And they made their way through many dangers and pirates, and using many of them as human shields to to eventually make their way to the Dawn Chaser to save Ryu and Elowin. And they did manage to do so. Everyone got saved. We had Ryu just be unconscious during the process. Most of what was happening on the Dawn Chaser was just Elowin standing there being a hostage. So you didn't miss much. Ryu kind of came to after they were rescued from the pirates by Jin and Fang showing up to save the day. And Fang released the Mandalorians with the promise of fighting in battle, right, against these pirates. Managed to persuade them enough that they're not going to shoot you in the back for now. They're like, okay, cool, this is the fight you promised us. We will fight alongside you and fight some pirates. The other thing that has been revealed is that Garm, the shipwright that you guys saved from Terrace, who had stolen some Beskar for the Mandalorians, tried to hide some of the Beskar in panels in the ship's walls. And the pirates who were tearing apart the Dawn Chaser found them in the middle of this whole hostage situation. So, Ryu, when you wake up and when everyone's kind of taking stock of the situation, you know a couple of things, right? You're taken captive by these pirates. They are defeated. Garrel, they were stripping the ship bare of stuff, and found that Garm had hidden some of the Beskar and were about to take it when Olivia and Josh's character showed up to save the day. So that, do you remember that moment you had with Garm where he was acting weird and came from somewhere on the ship? That was him hiding some of the Beskar, so that even if you guys took that crate from him, he would have some of it hidden somewhere. But it got revealed by the pirates. They got a really good scavenging roll and found it. And then the last thing you know, and this is the last thing that you would have been awake for this, the very last moment of the last session, was a call coming on the comms of the Dawn Chaser, and Elowin answering it and thinking it was from the command outpost of the command tower of the mining outpost. So you assumed at first it was the outpost commander, Corsavel. But in fact, a male voice answered and introduced himself as Captain Gideon Blackthorn, and basically said, we have, the pirates are in charge of everything. We have everything under our command. We have hostages. Surrender your weapons and come out with your hands up, or we will kill them. And that's where we ended last time. So let's go ahead and do a quick run through everyone's beliefs.
Where did the Mandalorians go?
The Mandalorians are still here, as far as I know. They are hanging out with Fang, having just murdered some pirates with y'all.
Oh, they're friends with us.
Yes, at least for now, they have agreed to help you fight the pirates.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, because remember there was a whole thing with Fang promising them, if you give up some of this information, I'll give you a fight. I'll give you a glorious battle, right? And that cool. Fang managed to persuade them that this was the battle he promised, right?
Okay, cool.
So,
makes sense to me.
let's run through beliefs. We'll go. I think we'll leave off on instincts and traits just for time's sake, and let's just run through everyone's beliefs and make sure they're up to date, and then we'll jump right into it. So Ryu, we'll start with you. So today's session is going to be primarily about kind of trying to wrap up this arc here on Jebel, and doing two things, right? Like being Jedi and saving the day here on Jebel, whatever that means, and fixing your ship and getting out of here, right? So those are the main things we're going to be focusing on. So you might want to tweak some of these, since we're going to be have a pretty quick hard focus on those things. The first belief. Have you been working on that at all with finding out which Jedi
I haven't
you're
had
traveling
a
with and
chance to. I feel like no, not really. Can I just make a belief about leaving Jebel?
Sure. Yeah. And here, let's do this too. We can add another field here, and just any beliefs that you want to return to at any point, just copy paste them into inactive there.
Okay.
So we can remember them for later.
I'm gonna move the first one.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You still worrying about Fang going towards the dark side can be relevant?
Well, I was unconscious for him fighting with the Mandalorians.
Fighting, with Mandalorians against the pirates,
side by side.
Yep.
Did he get all mad in that battle?
I don't think he got mad, but he certainly has had plenty of opportunities in last session to not choose the peaceful way and decide the violent way instead. Egged on by Olivia's character. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, I think it's a good one to keep. Pretty much every time we came to a point where Josh, his initial instinct was, maybe we should talk to these pirates, Olivia was just like, let's just shoot them. Or let's just throw stuff at them with telekinesis.
All right.
So yeah, that one makes sense.
I'll keep it.
And then, do you want to keep belief 3 about the Beskar?
Yeah, I don't know if it applies to this session though, but yeah, I do want to still get it.
Yeah, I think it might be relevant. Let's make belief 1 about what you care about in terms of this hostage situation and getting off of Jebel. What do you care about?
Hostages?
No. The pirates have taken control of at least a portion of the mining outpost and have. Mm-hmm. It sounds like the commander of the outpost and some other people hostage.
I got it.
And are holding them at blaster
misunderstood that part.
Yeah, they're holding them at blaster point, and basically they calmed you and said, we know, Jedi, we know you're there. Discard your weapons and come out, or we're gonna kill these guys. So, would Ryu care about the hostages more? Would he care about getting out of here more?
I think Ryu would try to help those people get free.
That makes sense. So why is that the case? Let's make a real quick top tier level belief thing here, where it's why does Ryu care about these particular hostages? Is it just because of the Jedi code?
Yeah, I think he believes it's the right thing to do, is to help them before we save our own butts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, maybe something like, the Jedi are bound to defend the weak and helpless or something like that?
Yes.
And then, second part being, we will save the hostages.
Oh, it's going
here on Jebel.
Do I have to say I believe, or can I say the Jedi code requires us to put...
Yeah, you don't have to start it with I believe. You're fine. Cool.
I can type. It's very delayed when I'm typing into this.
Oh yeah. Roll 20 being weird.
I will.
While you're typing that real quick, I'm going to read off your other beliefs just in full, so that we are aware of them again. The Jedi are needed to win the war against the Mandalorians, though we must always guard against the threat of the dark side. Fang's recent outburst is a sign that he may be straying to the dark side, so I will speak with him to dispel my concerns and help him stay on the right path. And then belief 3, learning the secret to defeating Mandalorian armor is the key to winning this war. I need some of Garm's Beskar for my research, so I will find a way to acquire it. And that could really just be going up to Garm and being like, give me your Beskar, right? Stop messing around. So yeah, what's that first belief then?
I said the Jedi Code requires us to put the well-being of others over ourselves. I would do what I can to help the hostages and get the team to help me do it, or get the team.
Right. I will do what I can to help the hostages with assistance from my fellow Jedi. Yeah. Makes sense to me. All right, cool. Elwyn, what you got?
So I think I'm going to change belief, not change the belief, but change the last part. A good pilot has connections in every planet. I will save the hostages on this here. Something like that.
They'll praise your name for all time.
Right, of course, because I will make a new ally. I think is just like I'm not going to get to talk to like one specific person. So I think like just saying I'm going to save the, I will save the hostages from the pirates. I think everything else is probably okay. The Mandalorians are a threat to the peace of the Republic. We must inform the Jedi Order of the attack. A ship is an extension of a pilot. I'll ensure the repairs on my ship will be sustainable.
Sounds good to me. All right, Jenna, what you got?
There we go. Sorry about that. So belief says Jedi Order is beginning to lose its way. Once we're farther from the threat of war, I want to find a Padawan to correct this.
Do I want to specify that further and just have it be specifically about the fallen Padawan and like finding her and getting her back safe?
Yes.
So you can get Persona for that if you succeed on that, right? As long as she doesn't die or something. So maybe like the Jedi Order is beginning to lose its way. I'm wondering. I feel like there needs to be another part to that. The Jedi Order is beginning to lose its way, and I assume you want to change it. You want to like redeem it somehow. Like, what's your sentiment there? You think?
Well, maybe just redeeming it like one person at a time.
Right. The Jedi Order is beginning to lose its way, and so that's all caps. And so I must do what I can to bring it back to the light. That good enough for a...
That was worded quite well, yes.
All right, cool. And then second part would be like about her specifically. Do you want to just save her? Do you want to convince her to be your Padawan? Like, because I think like the easiest way to do it this session especially is just maybe like, I will ensure that Rhys Averin is maybe rescued is too strong of a term. She's not necessarily in danger. You don't necessarily know that. I'll ensure that Rhys Averin will ensure that we find Rhys and take her with us when we leave Jebel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. She shouldn't be left where she is.
Right, because then the idea would be the second session, like the session after this, as long as you complete that, it can be convince her to be my Padawan, right? Because now she's coming with us, and now I can be like, hey. Cool. That second one, do you want to read that off?
Yeah, the warlords of Mandalore are a threat to the Republic. While we're here on Jebel, I will protect my companions so you can get to Coruscant and inform the Jedi Order of the attack. But she is probably going to want to protect the hostages too. I think that goes without saying. But I think I can still try to protect companions. And then I'm a better fighter with 2 lightsabers. I will try to acquire a second one. We'll see. I think Fang is very attached to the purple lightsaber.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you find Rhys, you can have that conversation and maybe secure it. Cool. All right. Fang.
Yeah, I updated mine a little bit. First one's the same. The Order must follow the will of the Force, not bend it to their own will. I will assist the other members of the Order and build a foundation of respect. The second one is Jin seems to approve my aggression as a tool rather than a hindrance. I will take the lead in this current conflict.
All right.
And the third one is my gut says to fight the Mandalorians, but it is forbidden. I will work alongside these Mandalorians to cement them as my allies.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. So I think we pop in media res back to that moment where you guys get the comms. We can assume that all of you have heard this and are aware, whether or not you're just making your way into the cockpit or the bridge or whatever, or, we're already standing there. I think you are all aware What do you do?
I am an ambassador. Should I negotiate for us?
It's true. That was a job.
Can I just cast my gaze around and check with them?
I think he was
No
saying
one
that in
objects.
characters. I know. Does anyone respond?
What did you ask?
I am
Well,
an
like-
ambassador. I guess, should I take the lead on this? Should I negotiate?
If any of us have a chance of convincing them, it's probably you. I think there's too
Yeah,
many
you
of them.
can just scare them.
No.
We'll see.
I'm
how
like,
we
for
go.
you.
just,
For you.
Elwin's just like, just tell him you're a gank, and then we'll get out of here. Come on.
We'll see how we go. Yeah, and I'll like step up to the thing, what's it, and press the button for it. I say, okay, so listen, you have got a bunch of hostages, and if we don't surrender, you could kill them all. Meanwhile, we have no guarantee that if we surrender, you'll actually release the hostages or do anything of moral value. Now, if we were standard Jedi, then sure, we would gladly hand ourselves over for no good reason. However, I've spent the last several hours with my companion telling me to slaughter everyone we encounter. So I'm afraid you've met the least code-following Jedi I have ever had the pleasure of accompanying. We use chemical weapons, carry out extremely prejudicial executions, and have enough military bloodthirst that we are actively hanging out with a couple of Mandalorians right now. So, here's the deal. You have a grudge against this place for whatever heckin' reason. You've blown up half of it, and you've certainly been a pain in the neck. However, unless you start making tracks, you'll have a Mandalorian army invading your precious acquisitions, and you'll also have about 3 different factions talking to you if you doom Taris by gunking up its water supply. And if we can't protect the workers here, you can be plenty sure we'll provide some vengeance. Now, we do have a few options here. I am a diplomat, but I'm also a bloody gank. So the ball's in your court. My kind has eradicated a species before, but we were paid for that one. Keep this up and I might do yours for free. So do you have anything to offer me that would convince me your word or life has any value whatsoever?
Wow. Okay. Well, I
Oh
assume
my
that's.
god! Well, you're gonna get a humor point for that one. Holy
Yeah,
moly.
I assume that's an well, he's gonna get humor and he's gonna get
Invitation.
embodiment. Like,
Holy moly! Wow, that was the greatest speech I think I've ever heard ever.
This is how a gank does negotiations.
I guess that concludes negotiations. No, yeah. So I assume this is an intimidation check from you. That's your primary thing you're trying to do. You're just like scare them crapless, right? Just like get out of our way.
I'm adding in some other stuff, but yeah, the main crux of the point is intimidation.
All right, that makes sense to me. Given how these things usually go, and obviously, like, you know, him trying to call your bluff here will mean he will definitely die, given what I know about you people. But he doesn't know that, and so a failure here will mean he will probably just, you know, try to call your bluff, right? Because he is also a bloodthirsty pirate, and if he thinks you're just full of it, then, you know, bad things might happen. But you do have a 9 in intimidation, so this will probably go well. Let me double check what the ob is going to be based on his stuff here. All right, we got a base ob of 5 for his will. I think he would have at least 1 belief against this. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a +2 ob penalty, mainly just because of the, like, he has a couple of like kind of steal traits, like I've seen everything, like nothing phases me sort of stuff. And I think he has a belief about, like, you know, pirate stuff, you know, being a bloodthirsty pirate captain who has a reputation to maintain, sort of a thing. So I think a final ob of 7 is what we're looking at.
Yep. So definitely oratory, conspicuous, and persuasion.
Yes.
Certainly. Let's see. Let's see. I don't think corporation-wise.
No.
Don't think.
They're an organization loosely,
Yeah,
but not a
I don't
corporation.
think. Yeah, and I think we vaguely did know some secrets as to why they're doing it, but I didn't use them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other one I was vaguely thing was like soothing platitudes and like acknowledging where we are and what's happening, but I don't know about that.
No,
And I don't know
no,
it's
I
really
don't think
etiquette
so.
situation.
I
So
really can't envision a world in which someone can do intimidation and soothing platitudes in the same.
we just did
motion.
discuss it. I was like, it's okay. This will only take a minute.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I don't think that's what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
We
That's
will
fine.
kill you slowly. It's all right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll put up a really good fight. You'll die with honor. It's okay.
Because I think the point of soothing platitudes is trying to calm someone down, and that's like you are trying to get them to back down, but I don't think you're really trying to calm them down at all. So
and then I don't know whether there's any opportunity for other people to help me here.
it sounded like you were
Taking
doing
the
it all
lead on it,
yourself,
yeah.
and right, yeah.
I'm not
Cool.
helping.
I think everyone else is
Very
staring in
fair.
shock.
Yeah, I think you're a bad guy right now.
Very
Ryu's
fair.
like, I knew it.
Alwyn's impressed. Let's just put it that way.
Ryu's thinking, is this guy serious or is he just
Is this all a
using this
big
as
lie? Yeah.
tactic?
Okay, so intimidation with 3 assists.
This is gonna be tough.
And then we're aiming for 7, won't we? Let's see.
You spend
I
some
have
persona.
some persona, but
So if I just pipe in and say he ain't lying, can he get an ugly truth from that?
I don't think so.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. Real quick. So currently you're rolling 10 dice.
12.
No, 12 dice. Yeah. I forget 9. Against Ob 7, it's still a 39% chance of success. If you add some persona, the biggest chance you can get is you spend 3 persona, it's a 70% chance of success. And this is not including the chance of fate factoring in. You can always get some 6s that can turn the tide. What do you think?
I mean, I think if anything, it'll probably be I'll probably summon a trait or something. I don't know what traits there are for intimidation, but
You could easily.
Yeah.
Do you have Dreadful?
I don't believe so.
Did you? I feel like you might have tried to get that one before, maybe.
No, I
No.
tried to get deadly precision,
Uh,
and I tried to get what was the other one? There was another one, but it wasn't a dreadful one. It's something else.
but yeah, Dreadful's the easy one. Call on for
Oh,
intimidation.
yeah, I'm not nimble. That's the other one I was thinking.
Yes.
All on for speed or light-footed or wherever it was. But
Well,
yeah,
you are nimble for jury rigging, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah, it was the whatever graceful or whatever it is, the speed one.
Right.
That was cool. Because I was trying to escape from a cave and failed. Yeah. Yes. So we'll just send it as it is and see how we go.
All right.
So 3 helps, no Arthur for the time being, and base obstacle 7.
Oof, that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Only 1 6.
So I'll try and get dreadful first and see how we go.
Yep. A call in here would be useful.
So, are any of my traits helpful in this instance?
Oh right, yeah, because it's like
Maybe my booming voice would help.
if you had
that's
chosen
not a
like
cultural one,
command
though.
for it,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah,
Cool.
1 for booming voice.
No other. Yeah.
This mechanic is very broken.
It is. Yeah. Admittedly, it is.
I think for the next Star Wars campaign, I'm gonna say no otherness because it's very broken.
Really good. Yeah.
I mean, even like the option it gives you in the book to just choose like 8 points of die and call on traits for an alien, like just ridiculous. Like I don't know, like who needs? It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping they come up with a second draft of Star System soon.
Yeah, be nice. Okay, so I will re-roll some of those. Boop. So we've got 3 out of some re-rolling 9 dice.
1, 2, 3,
6
4,
greater
5,
than
6,
4.
7, 8, 9. I'm seeing 9 failed dice there.
Yep.
Cool. All you needed. Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so it becomes more and more obvious to us just how terrifying Fang is, right? And that's part of the like your reactions, right? It's just like terrified at him, right? Like he really again, you know, Ryu was like, is this a tactic or whatever? I think all of you can believe whatever you want, but I think the feeling you get is Fang means what he's saying, right? Or at least there's potential that he would follow through with something this terrible if it was really pushed, right? If enough things lined into place, like he is a gank. So yeah, you little chill down your spine. But yeah, I'm trying to think of how. So your ultimatum was basically what? Like, what do you actually want him to do? You said a lot of things.
Basically, I'm trying to essentially, with our presence, kind of convince him that what I'm saying then about the Mandalorians invading and all these other people will be here soon is actually very accurate.
Yeah.
And like he should be more interested in skedaddling.
In just skedaddling. Yeah.
Yeah. Than making a point.
Right. Take what you can, get out now. Yeah.
Yeah. Take what you can, give nothing back. They are pirates after all. Yeah, I think he would attempt, like, we obviously know that he's rattled, but he's doing this over comms, right? So he can pretend that he's not by just keeping the comms channel off for a little bit. So I think he believes you, right? He's obviously intimidated. I'm trying to think of like the way he would frame it, because I think you're right. Like the goal would be like, okay, well, you know what? Let's pack up and leave. He's probably right. The Mandalorians are coming, but she's gonna try to do it in such a way that he's trying to maintain as much of his dignity as he can, right?
We had somewhere else to be anyway. This is fine.
But I'm trying to think, like, your intent with that was to get them to leave, right? Like, primarily. Yeah. So I think this is what he responds with. He says, "All right, Jedi. Fair enough. We have somewhere to be. And you might just be right about this Mandalorian thing. Don't want to risk it either way. So I'll tell you what. We'll take a couple of hostages for collateral, and we'll be on our way. Once we get to a safe distance, we'll send some escape pods back to Jabba, and you can pick them up. Right easy." And obviously, you know, he's a pirate, so he's probably lying. What do you say?
Lying specifically about like not letting the hostages go, or lying about like the fact that he's not intimidated? Because I could care less if he's intimidated or not. Just like
that's not the part I was referring to. It's specifically like if it's the most convenient thing for him to do to get rid of the to like send them down, then he'll do that, or even just get rid of them before they actually leave, right? Like, but they are certainly not going to follow through with that plan exactly. What he really just needs, what he wants is just to have the hostages long enough that they can all get to their ships and leave. whether or not they are going to like kill them in cold blood or try to take some of them anyway and keep them, you're not sure. And you don't know if they're sure, right? Like they'll probably just wing it, like whatever they're feeling at that moment. You do know that you've secured they will not shoot anyone until they're safely on their ships, sort of thing, at least.
I'm a gank of my word. I can allow that. With a couple of provisos. Firstly,
And what?
nothing you have said has convinced me that your word has any value at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I asked for, wasn't it? So it's number 2. You can check the message logs if you want, the communication logs. I have been in communication off planet with a fellow gank.
Yeah.
If you do not follow through with your word to the letter, or not even to the letter, but the spirit of the letter, then we may still have problems in future.
Yeah, so I think he responds back, then what do you suggest, gank?
Your plan sounded lovely. Just make sure it actually happens.
I tell you what, I don't want to waste escape pods on collateral. So we'll do this. You meet us in the docking bay, and we'll pass the hostages off to you at the last moment. That'll ensure that they're safe and sound, won't it?
I do have an instinct that says always question the motives of others. Can I do Manhunter to see whether he is trying to deceive me or get me to do something here?
Sure, yeah. You can attempt whatever Manhunter thing you would like.
Mm-hmm.
Up to you how deep you want to go.
Yeah, I'll just do sense intent. Perception. This isn't high, so I don't get that. But I will spend some persona on it. Actually, what would it be for? Yeah, why not? Anyway, so I'll just go over.
Ooh.
I'll spend a couple of fate on it.
Yep.
I don't get my eyeballs because it's not a visual one, so.
Where do you have that tax from?
I guess I shouldn't have that tax either, because it's
How about you roll that extra
that's
d6
because
first?
of my eyeballs, yeah.
I think that would change the test you
Yeah.
got to a difficult as well. Because it'd be 4 versus 4. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you got 3 successes against 4.
4. Yeah, I'll still do the double fate on it.
Double fate. Okay.
Yep. 1. Dice 2.
Ooh, yikes. Okay, yeah. It's unclear to you. Like, I know exactly why he's presenting this. You are worried, I think. You're worried that he's going to try to pull a fast one, or there's something you're not seeing about the situation that, like, it seems fine, like when you look at it at face value, but you're like worried, like he's trying to bring us into a trap or something, like.
Yeah, Fang kind of closes his eyes for a second, and then nods and says, "That's fine by me. I will be there."
Yeah. I we obviously get Element saying, "Wait, is it a trap?" And you're like, "Undoubtedly." What do we do? Spring the trap.
I expect everything to be a trap while I'm still alive.
Cool, yeah. So they are planning on coming down to the docking bay then, right? And you guys are currently there. You know, it's a larger section of platforms and other things, right? Are you just going to wait around here?
My
Or
question
not.
is, Caleb, do they have ships in the docking bay, or are they like outside the docking bay?
Yeah, I think they have at least a few. Like this is the easiest place to park any of their ships that they aren't still flying around doing reconnaissance. Like there's like a couple of bombers still like flying around, but
Okay.
any of the transport ships that they had brought down to like they're like to your right on a couple of platforms down.
Right. I guess my only worry is that they get in their ships and they just start blasting at us from their ships, but
Yeah.
I guess that's a risk we have to take.
Mhm.
Because I don't think they would all just start like gunning at us. That doesn't, because they're
Yeah.
not going to risk their own lives.
Exactly.
I suggest we start fanning out.
Um,
Like just
Don't you
the
mean
Mandalorians.
fanging out?
Banging out. Like get the Mandalorians back their armor and everything that they need, and set up like in different spots, so we're not all all in this one ship. You could shoot it,
You
and we
can
all
blow
die.
it up now. Yeah.
Yeah, but like more spread out and like have the Mandalorians on a couple of sniper spots if they need to be, and yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you can do that.
Yep.
Is there any other like conversations or mini scenes that anyone wanted to have before that happens? Fang's giving orders here, but like Ryu, for example, you wanted to talk to Garm at some point. You know, Jin and Elowin, you probably are worrying about the Padawan, right? So up to you how you what approach you want to do, or if you like it does sound like Fang is giving orders here, right? He's trying to take charge of the situation, but if you want to do something or would like to like ask him like, hey, we know we needed to do this instead, that would be the time to do so. Because it could be as easy as you wait until you do this and then you go find the Padawan, but you also just don't know where she ended up or if she's safe.
Well, right. That's what I'm wondering if she's part of the hostages. Is
That's
basically
what I'm worried about
wondering.
too.
Is that she's in there. I would probably wait and see, but I'm wondering if I could attempt like a stealthy roll to like stealth myself. But I don't, because I don't know I don't know if they know how many Jedi are out here. So it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with that because, you know, then they're going to see that I'm not there. I don't know. So my preference would be to stealth myself. And then if she's not in the crowd, then go figure out where she's at. While you guys kind of handle the situation. I don't know, but I don't know if my presence is needed or not, because if it is, then that's fine. But
I guess like could I also try and like is there any way that I could try and sense where she's at, like use the forest to figure out her general location?
Certainly you can, yeah. I believe that would be a telepathy test.
Meditation, if you're extending your...
Yeah, I think it would be both, right? You have to extend your influence and then you do telepathy to like read people's thoughts or whatever.
I don't have telepathy.
Yeah, well, it kind of depends on whether... Yeah, if we're looking for
Depends what you're
specific, we're just trying to check whether there's someone force sensitive. Like if we think
Yes.
that she's likely there and he's force sensitive around.
so would that be telepathy or meditation?
I'll check. I
Meditation
think
to extend.
Yeah. I think what Josh is saying is, it is likely that she's the only other force sensitive person here. So the easiest thing to do would be to use meditation to spread your presence out, so you can sense, like with a greater distance here. Let's see. Yeah. I think that's the easiest way, because then you would be able like, oh, there's a force sensitive person here. And I think you would only need to do, it'd be like an OB2 meditation test.
Okay.
Just like
I've
reach
never
out
done
across
a
the facility.
Yeah, I've never done a meditation test before. I usually use it to help bolster things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do we have to use fate point for this?
No, it's not magical.
No.
It's not a sorcery skill.
Yeah, it's not inherently magical, so it doesn't actually reroll sixes automatically anyway. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't think I can do any forks for this.
Force tremors wise, makes sense.
Okay, just one then.
But yeah, I think that's probably it.
Okay. And then op 2, you said?
Yep, up to. This should be doable. All right. You can spend one.
I
fate
literally
to
said,
reroll-
"Don't say that, Caleb."
you can spend one fate to reroll one failed dice. You do have 10, so it's not gonna be.
Yeah, I'll
into
do
your
it.
stash here.
I pressed
So,
the fate button, right?
Yeah, you press
Remaining
the
op
press the
is
d6. Remaining ob 1, dice 1.
Yay, dice 1.
50% chance. And you failed. Okay. Okay, so I think this just means is like, I mean, Jenna, you're not super practiced with this. You do have a 4 in it, but like, yeah, it does sound like you don't primarily sit down and do meditation like this very often. So you try and you're like, there's a lot of like emotions happening in this mining outpost, lots of fear and anger and whatnot, dark side stuff, right, from the pirates. So it's just interfering with stuff. You can't really get a read on what you want to read. So.
Well,
Yeah,
we
someone
can go with the stealth thing.
Yeah.
Well, again, I'm kind of like, I was gonna let that be Fang's call since he's kind of like calling the shots here.
Yeah, do you ask him?
I would basically be like, my preference would be to hide, would be to like stealth myself, and then if I need to sneak away to do something, I can do that.
Do those Mandalorian helmets have like augmented vision? Like, would they know what to look for?
I
don't
think
think they
Fangs
do.
has it.
Mine doesn't.
I mean, Fangs does. That's my it's got boost to perception, and then my
Yeah.
perception acts as like observation with one of my other traits. So technically, I could try and do that. But yeah, I think Fang was I'll give it a quick look, but yeah, no, that sounds fine by me.
Yeah, because I think could I use
The
scopes
more
to
split
find?
we are, with better.
Could I use scopes to find her if I need to? If like she's not there?
Good question. Scopes. What do you have for scope stuff? Like
3.
equipment wise?
Oh, equipment wise? Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I don't even
Like
know.
you have to have like a sensor of some sort, a scanner.
Yeah, I think they gave me one.
Let's check. Yeah, you don't have any in your character sheet normally. Are you saying they?
But I had one though when I went when we went down
Yes.
to the cave, so I would assume I still have that.
Was it a I somehow remember it being a biometric scanner, but I don't know why it would have been. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't remember.
Because I do remember you using it in the cave.
Well, because we originally thought they was like a ghost, so I think I was like, oh well, okay, can I get this that way I can like sense if like it's a person or not or what is it?
Okay, yeah. You're right. Yeah, you can use scopes then. Let's take a look.
I'm not gonna do it right now, but I just mean like as a last if like if we're having a hard time finding her or something.
Yep, that makes sense.
But yeah, I would just like to like stealth basically. I don't know if I need to what that would be for a roll, but
It would be against their
observation.
So there are pirates just like outside, milling about, probably getting ready to go by order of the captain now. So they are like right outside, so you'll have to roll against theirs pretty much immediately. I can grab their character sheet real quick, and we can make that roll. Luckily for you, they do not have this trained. So, they'll get a couple of advantages because they have a lot of them milling about. But you should still be able to pull this off, no problem.
Don't say that, Caleb.
So your ob is 3, right?
Don't say that, Caleb. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Even a 3 is still pretty good, for I only have a 4.
Okay.
Caleb, why would you do that to me?
But I think 3 makes sense in this situation. Like, there are a lot of them out there. This is going to be difficult. You're good at this, but...
Yeah, all right, fine. I do need a difficult test in this, so... Let's look for it.
Now you're thinking like a Burning Wheel player.
I only have 1 persona, though. That sucks. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's a yikes.
All right, well, I guess I'll go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
nice.
look at that.
There you go. Cool.
No pain, no gain.
All right, so yeah, we see Elowin kind of slip out of like a top chute or top like hatch of the Dawn Chaser and like slip into the shadows. Where are you going specifically? Like, where do you want to set yourself up in this docking bay area?
I basically just want to set myself up somewhere around the edge of it, so that way if things go down, like I can get away and or potentially what I'm trying to think is like position myself where I'm not seen, so that way at least I have the upper hand if things go down.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. And then escape if I need to find the Padawan.
So there's not a whole lot of like. I think that your best bet is going to be hiding behind like crates and
It's fine.
stuff.
Yeah,
So there's probably a spot you can find, but
I don't even
it's
mind
not-
hiding like on top of the Dawn Chaser if it's like towards the
Sure.
edge.
Sure.
Like
Okay.
that's fine. It doesn't matter to me where specifically it is, as long as it's just at my advantage, at an advantage point, basically.
Yep. Sounds good. Yeah. So Elwyn takes position. Ryu and Jin. What was your plan at this point? Jin cannot find Riss with the Force currently. Are you falling into step with Fang here, Ryu, or are you still? I mean, he's rubbing you the wrong way.
Is he telling us to go like kill these guys? Is that kind of what the deal is?
He's telling you to get in position so that you can like jump in to rescue the hostages if something goes wrong. I think is the idea.
So what's he about to go do?
Fang's just going to like stand basically in the middle of the open.
He wants everyone else to be in.
Yeah. I'm going to be the obvious person to whom they should be sending the hostages. And then generally not giving us a nice target for them to just like laser cannon everyone in one go.
I don't know. I feel like his plan isn't that crazy. Like that I would try to go against it at this point.
Yep. You just give it the side eye.
Yeah, I think Ryu's just kind of keeping this situation like in the back of his mind as he thinks about what Fang is up to and how he acts. And I think Ryu just goes along with it and gets in position. But he's kind of ready to. I think this is like if something else happens, and he's going to be ready to say something. But he'd rather go talk to Fang privately. I think at this point.
Yeah. So you think like you have to wait?
Yeah,
till
I'll
after
just
this is
go
all
get.
over?
Yeah. I'll just go along with it for now and get in position.
Yeah. So where would you want Ryu then? I guess Fang, based on your thoughts here. I mean, Ryu could be with you. I assume there's going to be maybe a couple people with you. Unless you... Oh, I think you're muted. Unless you literally want everyone scattered around.
Possibly. I'd probably keep everyone scattered. And especially not an unarmored Ryu. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe tell him to build some more chemical weapons. Just...
He does have
I feel like
Mandalorian
as long as the
breastplate,
chemical weapons aren't like ripping people's flesh off, it's okay.
Maybe just knocking them out.
Like temporary blindness is okay.
Yeah. Paralyzing is still there, so fine.
It's like, you'll feel your toes again eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you have your workshop here, Ryu. Do you want to make something like that?
Yeah, I think I would like to do that.
Sure.
I want to make something to give them temporary blindness.
Okay. Let me tell.
I forget what I haven't rolled that in a long time.
I think it's chemist is your main
chemist?
one. Yeah. Manufacturer of drugs.
I need
one
a
of them
difficult
is
and a challenging.
one of them is dulling senses. So that seems like a good ob. So it's an ob 4 chemist test to create like temporary blindness drug, whatever that looks
So
like.
I want it to, but I have to make it so that it only affects the bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, only Fang is going to be out there, and he has like armor and stuff on and Jedi powers, so you could probably throw it near him, and he'd be able to.
Okay, so I
deal
give
with it.
him like I want to try to make a small device that will dispense upon, landing on the ground.
Sure. Okay, so I think we have a base ob before for what you wanted to do.
Okay.
How long do you want the effects to last?
Roughly. So, how long would it take us to get the hostages to a safe area Where are we gonna take them? Do we have a ship to put them on?
No. That's part of the.
No, we have one. It just can't. Isn't. We don't want it to go into space at the moment.
The idea is that they're going to leave and then we'll all be fine. We don't need to take them anywhere.
Well, I mean, in theory, they need to evacuate this planet because the Mandalorians are coming.
Oh, true. But we need to
Is
get
that
our ship
actually
repaired
happening
first.
though? They're still coming. Like they
The
are. definitely on
Mandalorians
the
are,
way.
yeah. You know, the assumption is, yeah.
Okay. I would say long enough. So I don't know, up 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay. So no increased ob there. That's totally fine. It's just
Okay.
short-term effects. So you wanted this to be inhaled, right?
Yes.
Like a gas? Okay. That will bump the ob to 6.
From 4. How
yeah,
else
from
can
4 to
I?
6.
How else can it be administered?
So the other options are injected is no penalty, ingested is +1 ob, inhaled is +2 ob, or absorbed through physical contact is +3 ob.
I feel like airborne should be harder than physical contact. Maybe not.
I think the idea is like you just have
No,
to
I
touch
get it.
them and it like
And they
instantly works,
affects
right?
them. Okay, I'll roll. I'll try to get an ob 6.
Yeah, so the one thing I think is still complicating it, though, is you're going to have to do this fast, right? Like, it's not going to take them that long to get down here. I guess you tell me, how many of these are you making? Just one? Just like one smoke grenade?
Well, if I try to make multiple, whether they work or not is still up to one roll, right?
Yeah, I think the idea is basically you can make one, small one for ob6, or you can make
how
a
many
couple.
people they should? I feel like they're only going to walk out with like 5 guys. Am I miss?
Yeah, I mean, they're not. It's not like it's a huge pirate crew. There are a bunch of them down here, but it is likely we're talking dozens and not into hundreds.
Small is fine. Then we're less likely to hit hostages.
Yeah, so I think ob6 you can make a small dose of it. ob7 is like you actually have like a little bandolier of them for Josh's
No, I
character.
think one is enough.
All right, cool. So ob6 chemist
And
test.
I can fork in toxicology
You may.
and anatomy,
Yep.
and I don't think I can fork in illness wise because it's not an illness.
No, yeah, it's not like disease related. You could see if you can get help from other people.
Help me create poison.
What about our robot companion?
Yeah, I can look at scrap. SKR4P scrap. He has jury rigging, mechanic, circuitry, and busted wise. I think jury rigging makes sense as a help here, especially if you're trying to like jury rig some like a smoke grenade or something, like something equivalent. So you can get 2 helping dice from scrap. There's nothing else for him to do right now.
I'll
So do
help
you
you
like-
with one as well?
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah, because you have jury rigging too. Do you have do you like call him over, Ryu? Like what does this look like? The droid.
Yes. Hey, can you robot help me?
Yeah, you're
Scrap,
talking
get over here.
to Geralt the mechanic. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, Scrap, go give him a hand. And Scrap looks over. He says, of course, I can help you. Right this way. Let's go to your lab.
Okay. So I got 2 from me, 2 from Scrap, right?
And then one from Fang. He said he was
Okay.
helping out too.
So I've got 5 help. Not 55. Okay. I don't think I put the ob. 6. Oh no! Why'd it go up to 7? Because I'm hurt or something?
Oh yeah, you got an injury.
Oh, I should have fixed that.
Yeah, you should have tried to.
I didn't know that.
Do we? Yeah, I think it was.
It wouldn't heal by the whole last session.
No, because you have to
I
like
think
take a moment to.
Yeah.
You have to take a moment to try to fix it. You do have 2 6s there. Let's see. Let me look real quick and see what it takes, like how long it usually takes to fix like a superficial wound in terms of recovery. Making the recovery roll, because if it was like just a moment of time we needed, we can do that in advance. Let's take a look. Recovery. Superficial wounds. Pass an OB1 health test. If successful, the pain fades immediately. Oh, yeah, here we go. To recover, a character must rest. He can travel, study, or converse, but not fight or adventure. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like
I don't
being
think
unconscious should count as resting.
You can do also the
Oh,
shrugging
that's-
it off is just ob2 for shrugging it off for the scene.
That's true. No, I think you're actually right though, Ryu. You really did just kind of spend a bunch of time sitting around doing nothing. The whole last session. I'm fine. Go ahead and make a OB1 health test to just recover from that superficial wound. As long as you get one
Okay.
success, you'll be fine.
Can I just roll the fate dice? Is that fine to do? On that?
It's on your stats and skills. You can do.
Well, yeah, we have roll a health test is what this is.
Oh, I have to go to health. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Am I blind?
Right under
I see it,
attributes.
I see it.
So just OB1, no helps or anything. There you go. Wow.
Wow.
Only one. Okay, cool. Yep. So that's fine. We're assuming that's actually a 6 that you need instead. You have
Okay.
2 6s on that roll, and one of the failed dice that you can reroll. If you want to spend 2 fate, you can reroll 3 dice. And you
Okay, I
need 2
will.
successes. So yeah, I would click that fate button, do 3 dice and 2 remaining ob, and then spend that 2 fate and put it in chemist.
Oh,
Wow, that was bad.
that sucks.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the obvious answer, the more interesting answer, is you do it, but it's not going to work like Fang wants it to, right? He's gonna use it, and it'll spray mostly in his face or something, right? Like it's not going to actually do what he wants it to do. It's going to malfunction somehow. But you were kind of rushed, so you hand it off to Fang, and Fang slips it in a satchel or whatever, and puts it on his belt. All right, cool. Let's see. What do we think is next in terms of order of operations here? Any other things that we need to do before the pirates show up with their hostages? Sounds like most of Ryu's time is being spent, doing that. Jin tried meditation and didn't work. Where do you want to be, Jin? Or maybe where does Fang want you?
I kind of want to be somewhere close to where he is, but not visible, like inconspicuous. And I'm wondering if I can get somewhere close, so if needed, I can hold the ship with telekinesis.
Right. Yeah, inconspicuous is going to be kind of difficult. It's mainly because you're like wearing Jedi robes, I assume, right? If you would like to discard those and like try to look like a normal random person, right? Like maybe put on one of Geralt's jackets or something. So you just look like a random spacer. You could maybe make an inconspicuous roll.
I could try that. I think for now. Where
Okay,
is it?
yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, what's my ob?
I think your ob is going to be against their same observation, that ob 3.
Okay, could I roll in, was it Fringer wise or contested sector? Because I'm trying to look like a normie.
Fringer wise makes Fringer would be
No.
if you need, or we're trying to pretend to be like a yokel or a random remote hermit or something like that. Let's take a look here. Yeah, you don't want to look like a soldier really either. Yeah, I think you're just rolling it flat. I don't know if anything else
Alright.
helps here. Good luck. So yeah, ob 3 with your, you do have an inconspicuous of 5. I mean, you're good at this.
Hooray!
Hey, there you go. Yeah. All right, cool. Yep. So you are kind of standing off to the side, wearing Geralt's jacket, like don't nothing to see here. Don't look under my jacket. I have a lightsaber. Right. And yeah, you're gonna jump into it to help Fang if he needs it. So I think Geralt, Garm, and Scrap are going to stay on the ship. And then Ryu, where do you want to be when this all goes down?
What's kind of the area? I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, you're good. You're kind of like in a hangar bay. I think the platform that you are on currently, like where the Dawn Chaser is like a platform that juts out from the main structure of the outpost into the air. So it's not like covered or anything. And then there's like a metal walkway that like goes to a like it's currently open, but it's like an actual hangar bay with like a bunch of like cargo supplies and other like speeder bikes and ships and stuff inside it. That is like an enclosed structure, but like currently the big hangar door is open. And there's like pirates milling about, grabbing whatever they can carry and heading to their transports, according to Fang's, the ultimatum he gave to the pirate captain. So the pirate captain basically told all those pirates, like, grab everything you can carry and get out of here.
I don't know. Where should I be? I really don't know where.
Just Fang out an idea.
So that was just somewhere safe. That's fine. Just inside the ship, maybe. I don't know.
I'll wait. I can wait in there.
Yeah, maybe just like close to the entrance so you can jump in action if you need to.
Okay.
Cool.
That's where I'm at.
You're
all right. Sounds good. Yeah.
You're the man in the chair.
Let's see. Trying to think here. Yeah. Okay. So Gideon Blackthorn shows up with his hostages. Here's what Gideon looks like, by the way. Here's this cool pirate art. Look at that guy. He's cool. So maybe I can drag the token out too. There he is. So Gideon is walking at the probably not at the head of, but amongst the host of pirates, maybe a dozen pirates that are leading a band of hostages. They look mostly like command staff of the mining outpost. People that don't really have either like officers that maybe only had like a blaster pistol, or like tech staff or something that didn't look like they were armed at all. Whoever was in the command tower, and they are being led by Blaster, right, towards the big transport ships that are waiting on the like docking bays next to the Dawn Chaser. So Fang, you're standing out there, I assume, and I think he gets close enough to you that you can like shout at each other, right? And he shouts across the way, "Just you, huh? Oh wait, well, you know what? The people we need to figure out, where are the Mandalorians? You said you wanted them to be in sniping position."
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's figure that out first. I just remembered we had those guys. So one of them was a Basilisk pilot. Let's see. He doesn't have stealthy. So you were getting them all their gear back?
Yeah.
Let's have a moment with them real quick before we actually jump into the scene, because I think there would be a slight conversation there, right? Oops, there you go. So Fang, you're getting ready, right? You're like, okay, they're about to arrive, and the Mandalorians have suited up, and they step out, and the pilot is the one who's been kind of like taking the lead and like, what am I trying to say? Pulling rank on the sergeant, the field sergeant, right? And the field sergeant seems like the more hot-headed of the two. The Basilisk pilot is a little bit more calm. And he steps up beside you, and the sergeant looks a little twitchy, but like, he's like rearing to go. And the pilot says, "Never thought I'd fight side by side with the Jedi. And I have to say, you fight well. Like a demon, even."
I've been told that my entire life. It's just deciding when and where to use it.
Never fought a gank. One of these days, maybe when this is over, we're still gonna get that. No, I'm trying to think of how you phrase it. And after this pirate scum runs off, are we gonna get that fight you promised? The one with you and me?
If you still want it, yeah. I respect you, though. I would prefer it not to be to the death.
He pauses. And I think he just lets it go for now, and he says, "Where do you want us?"
Wherever you can be most effective.
He nods.
You know your skills better than I do.
Yeah, he says,
Where would you, if you were your commanding officer, and you actually listened to what you told, what you told them, where would they put you?
He says, well, unfortunately, my skills are best used on the riding a basilisk. But you don't happen to have one of those lying around, do you?
You did say that there were some like speeder bikes around, and I like point out
Mhm.
one. It's not as good as a basilisk, but I don't know. There's some form of mount.
Suppose you're right. Not, I don't suppose that the pirates will just let me waltz over there and grab one, though.
Let's go and ask. And I just ignite both lightsabers.
The sergeant like looks at her like, what? You just gonna walk over there?
No, yeah, kind of like turn them on, flip them around, turn them off again, and then I'll just like I'll walk in that general direction with them.
Okay.
Still.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if the commander told them a whole lot about what you had said your like threat was exactly, right? So I think they're slightly surprised to see what looks like 3 Mandalorians basically just like walking towards them. They were given orders to like take everything and leave, but I do think like some sort of like sergeant of the pirates like steps forward, some sort of officer steps forward and says, "Hey, you! Stop where you are!"
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm stopped.
Don't get any closer.
Well, how am I going to reach that if I'm not going to get closer? And like just gesture to one of the speeder bike.
Suppose you'll just have to wait until we head off, won't you? Hoist his
Mm.
blaster.
Or I could use my spooky Jedi powers to pull it closer to me. Or you could just let us walk over and grab it.
It kind of sounds like an ugly truth test.
I suppose. Yeah. Or I could kill you.
Yes, I suppose you could jump to that.
Yeah, or I could pull it closer, or I could pull it you closer and stab you.
I mean, do you say that or did you just leave it
Yeah,
as
probably.
it were? Okay, all right. You go ahead and you can do an intimidation. Let's see here. Let's do before.
Mm-hmm. Maybe just conspicuous if that helps.
Mhm.
Then ob 4, do you say?
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, and you like keep listing off all the nasty things you could do, and eventually he just says, "Oh, okay, all right, fine, just leave me alone." just kind of almost like stumbles away.
Yeah, so just walk over here. There you go.
So the
just gesture
Mandalorian,
the guy.
yeah, the Mandalorian looks at you funny, and like he's in a helmet, so he can't really get facial expressions, but he just like pause and look at you, and he says, "Isn't that frowned upon? Amongst you Jedi? Us Mandalorians, we push people around all the time, and you seem to, well, I don't know, doesn't seem right, even though you're a gank and all that."
Well, let me just say that at least part of what I told that thing was completely and utterly the truth. On our way here, my companion was literally telling me to just slaughter everyone in my way.
Yeah, he frowns, and he's like,
Look, the council may go crook at me, mate. I don't need you to be talking in my ear.
"I'm not trying to be anal about anything. Just, I don't know. I guess it disturbs me slightly. The Jedi could be just as bloodthirsty as us."
Anyone can be bloodthirsty. It's just whether you can control it or not.
He frowns.
Some
at that,
people
like,
actually do the things.
he frowns at that like he doesn't understand why you would even want to control it, like or that you could control it. Like he doesn't. That concept seems to like go right over his head. Like I don't understand. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. But he just
I probably turn to him and I say, those basilisk things you've got?
Yeah,
They're hella destructive, right?
very.
What would happen if it just ran wild? Probably take out some Mandalorians with it.
I
Takes a
suppose.
proper pilot to keep it going and point it in the right direction.
It is basically a droid. Sometimes they can go faulty. I see what you mean.
Exactly. Any kind of bloodthirst, anger, power. It's all like that. Some say you just squash it. That doesn't seem right. Why waste a good basilisk droid? Put a good pilot in the way of it. You're alright.
He frown. No, again, I keep describing facial expressions. He has a helmet. He just says, "I still think there's a difference between the way you and I see all of this. I don't think." He pauses. The Jedi aren't like us. In the end, or at least, if you do become like us, I think you stop being Jedi.
Well, there's more Force users than just Jedi. And I ain't one of those Sith ones. So they're probably the closest. Unless I talk to like Rel or that other chap. I forget his name.
Yeah,
They have different ideas.
He stares at you for
All
a
I
moment.
know is I'm not a Night Sister.
Right. He stares at you for a moment. And then he says, I really do hope this war doesn't destroy us all. And then he walks towards the speeder bike. And then I think the Mandalorian sergeant kind of looks at you, looks between. He's like, I don't really understand what just happened. And then he just runs after that guy. And I think they both take speeder bikes. The sergeant isn't as good as pilot as he is, but they both like the idea of having some mobility.
Yep.
So they go ahead and head over there. And I think the pirates they've basically all cleared out of the cargo area by the time they reach the speeder bikes. And so they kind of wait in the wait in a shadowed area back behind the hangar bay there with the speeder bikes, kind of ready to rush out if they need to. All right, cool. So Gideon shows up and he is leading the hostages, like I said, and it gets at a shouting distance of you. You do see Corsavel, being led. She maybe has a bruise on her face, but she's holding herself with dignity. You don't see Riss. And most of you have a good line of sight on the hostages. Riss is not among them. He gets into shouting distance and he says, he doesn't stop the hostages right away. They're still kind of headed diagonally towards the hangar bay where their transports are. And he pauses for a moment while the hostages move onward, and he says, "You that gank that talked my ear off on the comms?
Correct.
Where's that Mandalorian death squad you said you had?"
Oh, well, that's up to you. Either I, a solo gank, managed to kill every single person in that ship and around the place, or I do have my ex-death squad and they're just hidden enough to keep you accountable.
He glances around. And I think you can tell at this point that you're manhunt. You failed manhunter on him earlier. At least part of what his real intention was with doing it this way is he really did want to see in person, who was the guy who just made me feel like he could kill everyone here? Was he bluffing? Is he really a gank? He wanted to see it for himself and have eyes on the whole thing. And yeah, he just says, "And what if I think you're bluffing?"
Then you can't be that bluffing.
You can't be that fast. I could order my men to shoot all of them now, couldn't I? We make a run for the transport ships. We get out of here, and you have a bunch of dead bodies on your hand. You're still a Jedi, right? That would ruin your day, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, I'd probably no longer be a Jedi, yeah. I might turn Sith for that.
Yeah. Ryu's you better not. I think he's still under the effects of your intimidation, right? You succeed on that roll, so he hesitates, kind of grinds his teeth together, and he takes a couple steps towards the hostages, and he says, "All right, stop him there," and then they kind of wait there for a moment. He talks with some of his pirates, and he looks back over at you and he says, "All right, we're sending them over now. And then we're out of here. Never see us again. Isn't that right, Gank?"
Well, as long as you don't cross my path, then yeah. I won't send anyone after you. And I won't come after you myself. Not
And I suppose, yeah, and he said, and I suppose that's the Jedi speaking, isn't it?
As I said, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, he nods as if he understands that. He's just like, yeah, not worth. Okay, I get it. Not worth it if you're not getting paid. Okay, we'll both be mercenary about this, and we'll just leave. Not worth it for either of us. Yeah. I think he says, very well. Well, gestures. The hostages start like walking, but then running towards you guys, right? And the pirates like make for their ships. And Gideon stops and turns back and gives you a look. And then he smiles and steps onto the ramp of the ship. And he holds up a little kind of like device. And he gives you a salute, walks up the ramp and presses the button, and then you hear a and mostly for spite, they rigged some sort of like gas explosion or something. So you succeeded on your like the hostages that he had were safe and whatnot. This is mostly about like giving the middle finger to the people that they didn't like to the mining outpost itself. Most of the people are safe, but the one person who is actually still in danger at this point is the Padawan, who has hidden herself somewhere in the outpost. And all of you realize this, right? Like, the hostages are going to be okay. Like, it wasn't a huge explosion. It was mainly it's going to cause a bunch of damage, and the mining outpost will eventually probably collapse in on itself. Like, this whole place is finished. Structural instability and whatnot. But you do know that like there might be some people still in there. Certainly the Padawan is still in there with your materials. So now whatever you want to do with that information, the pirates have left. So what do you do?
Can I attempt to do scopes to see how many like life forms are in that area?
You bet. Yeah. So Elwyn, you're immediately like, you like start like, where do we need to go? All right.
I think I probably already had it out ready to go, but now I'm like, oh crap. Yep.
All right, cool. Just give me an ob 3. Scopes.
Okay. Is there anything that you think I could fork in here with this? I'm trying to think. I don't really see anything. Maybe telepathy? I don't know.
I feel like those are two kind of separate things.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Otherwise, it's just that's fine.
I'm
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, let's go for it. 3v3.
3v3. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. No 6s, but you can still get a 50% chance there.
All right. Let's try it. Man, Persona is not our fate is not our friend today.
Yeah, so I think what you get, Elwyn, is you do sense some life forms, right? Your bioscanners pick up some people who are, still trapped somewhere in there. But the people that you pick up, none of them are Riss. You don't know this yet, but you'll go to each of these spots and you'll find people, but Riss will not be one of the people you find,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So does Elwyn like jump down and be like, okay, we got to do Jedi stuff, guys. Like, let's go. Or what?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we got to go save some of those people, and we got to go get our materials. Riss has our materials,
right?
So,
yeah. Is that what everyone's doing? Just kind of rushing in to like, or is there some organization here? What's happening? I do think the Mandalorians like speeder bike towards you, Fang, and they both kind of like pull up alongside you, Akira style, and the pilot says, "What are you doing? You're just gonna let them leave like that? You're not gonna shoot them as they fly away? They just gave you a middle finger, my friend." I think you did the other way around.
I think
never mind.
Fang like tunes into the with his like mental
Oh yeah.
transmissions. He will like tune into the comms and like send a message to the pirate guy as he's flying away.
Yep.
And he says, "You met your word enough that I won't eradicate your species. I don't know about you though."
Yeah. I think he quickly like turns off the transmission and he kind of sits to himself and he's like he looks at his hand and it's shaking and he like grabs it. He's like, no, take control of yourself, right? And then he fly away as fast as they can.
And he just probably hops on the back of one of the speeders and says, "He'll be dealt with, just not now. I do have a gank bounty hunter I was talking to, remember?"
Yeah. He's like, all right, Jedi. Well, there's no fight here. Mandalorians aren't rescue workers.
No, but if we're going to get off this rock, then we kind of need our materials to fix the ship. So think about it as rescuing yourself.
Okay, let's have you make a test there. It's not going to be super difficult, but like a quick persuasion test to like make sure they're on the same page with you.
Mhm.
Let's see. Yeah, ob 4.
Yep. Persuasion. I don't know what else to put into this.
Let's take a look.
Soothing platitudes, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have too many actual helps on this one, so I might even fail this. Terrible. And ob 4, did you say?
Yep.
Oof.
All right. Spend some fate.
Yeah, why not?
You should earn some back. So. Ooh, close, but no cigar.
Just by that much.
Yeah. Trying to think of what this means.
Do they just start fighting him? Like, no, you promised us a fight.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. So I think he gets off the speeder, and he says, "We'll be here to make sure that nothing happens to your ship, but this isn't our problem. Not really. Worst comes to worst, our comrades are gonna come and pick us up anyway. I'll tell you this, Jedi. This is why we're different."
Yeah, because your companions will pick you up and they won't pick me up. That's our difference. And then, drive off on it.
Yep. He rolls. You can't see it, but he rolls his eyes under his helmet. He's like, "No, there's a deeper philosophical difference here. You know it." All right, cool. So, are you going to use one of the speeder bikes? Or are you just going to rush in Jedi style? What are you thinking?
I'll probably use it to get there. I'm not doing anything fancy.
Yeah. Okay. Just get there fast. Okay. Jin, Ryu, what are you guys thinking?
But I think that something that I will do is I'll try my own meditation to try and find Padawan.
Sure. Yeah.
To try and find which specific blip is her.
Yeah. So maybe Elwyn like jumps down from the Dawn Chaser and she's like, "I got to read on some people, right? Like, let's go." And then you want to double check and make sure we're going to the right place. Yeah. So I think it's just an ob 2 check to like find another attuned person here, which should be just her.
Cool. Meditation with Force Tremors.
Yeah.
Help. Obstacle 2. See if I can succeed on something. Guess.
All right, cool. So, most of the blips that Elwyn is finding are in the central section of the outpost. the living quarters and stuff. It's likely people who hid in their rooms or found places to hide, like away from the pirates. It's not immediately like they set up the explosion more towards the lower section with like the mining control center and but it's actually on the same level as you guys, like this where this hangar bay is, where the like refinery and other stuff was that you just came from, Fang and Jin. Around there is kind of where they set it up. So there's not an immediate danger because the explosion didn't happen on that level, but it will be a matter of time. It will only be a matter of time before like the fire and or the structural instability will threaten the whole tower. But Fang, you sense the attuned like blip in your mind, and she's actually in a different place. She's in a sub-level below this level, right? Like she's not like the other blips are up a level. She's down a level, and you're not entirely sure what's there. You didn't really get a whole map of the place, but you know, like opposite direction of where the other people are. So now the question is, who splits up and goes where?
Yeah, and I think that Fang thinks for a second, and then he'll comms to Jin and say, "Jin, you paid advance on the lower level. I can't go fetch it this time."
So you just saying like go yourself, basically?
Yeah, I'm saying Jin go get her, and we'll go get the rest of them, or as many as we can.
Right. That work for you, Jen?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like how do I get down there again?
Yeah, so part of the issue is you will have to like you're going to be either near or through the explosion, like where the explosion was, or maybe you have to find some other hatch down or some stairway or something like that. You're not entirely sure of the layout of the facility.
Is there any way I could maybe help with that? Be like, because like this is like literally my jam is like figuring out like
you could roll an interstellar outpost wise to like know
like
to get
where to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could probably also send Ryu with her to like do fire retardant stuff and chemist.
Oh yeah, that works. That down with you? You down with that, Ryu?
Yep.
Yeah. And then Elwyn and Fang and the others will.
What kind of test did I get for chemist earlier?
I don't think it gave you any test.
Okay.
Yeah, it was routine. It was easy enough. You piled in the dice to make it succeed. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so Elwyn, interstellar outpost wise, I think is the main role here. Let's see if there's any forks. I'll give you wait. What did you get on that? Oh, you failed the scopes. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Interstellar. Yeah, honestly, maybe that's it.
I know we're not in a street, so I don't think street.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. It maybe. What is the description again of Streetwise? How specific is it? The etiquette of the city streets. Yeah, no, that's not this.
Yeah, no, that's not this.
All right, I think you're just rolling interstellar outpost wise. Let's see. In terms of wises, the way that the obs work. If you did like ob 1 is common knowledge of the subject, so it would be interstellar outposts generally. Ob 2 for interesting fact, and Ob 3 for details. I don't think Ob 1 makes sense, but Ob 2 or Ob 3 is your choice here. I think an Ob 3 test, a successful Ob 3 interstellar outposts test, will give you a general, like a layout of the facility in such a way that will be helpful. Ob 2 will give you a vaguer sense of what is going on, and you might miss a detail or two.
Right. Okay.
What do you want to try
Can you tell me what the failure would be? I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
yeah, what's the consequences of failing?
You know what? Let's make it a graduated test. Let's just make it. We'll start at Ob 1. Ob 1 isn't going to tell you much, but I think it's mainly just a degree of success, right? Is what the idea is here.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Base Ob.
Yeah, all successes is going to give you what you need entirely.
Oof. Okay. I'll go ahead and roll a fate
Roll a
on
fate,
that.
yeah.
I might as well.
Yep.
Where I've got like 9 of them, so might as well see if I can get at least better idea. Remaining Ob 0, I guess. I don't know. Dice one.
Yeah, or 1. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Well,
All I
green
got-
but 0. Yeah, so like, and the part of the issue is this is interstellar outpost wise and not mining outpost wise. Mining outpost wise of 1 would have been probably enough to give you something, but this is just like you're like, I don't know, maybe they
Go
have-
down.
Yeah, go down. I don't know. Maybe there's a stairway somewhere. You know, you don't have anything concrete to give them.
Okay.
So like, Elwyn would give something, but it's not going to necessarily give them any help.
Yeah. I mean, basically, I'll just be like, she must have gotten down there some way, but she's crafty, so just keep an eye out for things.
Yep.
For some other way that she probably would have gotten
Right,
down
yeah,
there. She wouldn't have taken the straightforward path.
She didn't take the elevator.
Right.
Or maybe she did. I guess she had the materials. She had like a grav sled with her, so in theory, unless she like stored the grav sled somewhere else, you don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I'll go with well,
Fang?
does Fang want me to go with him to try to rescue these people? I don't know that I'm going to be of any help, but I will try.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're the one with a scanner, so I think it makes sense that you're going with Fang to like
Mm-hmm.
at least search them out, right?
That's true.
All right, cool. So going up a level isn't super difficult. You're basically going into the central section of the outpost with bunk rooms and private quarters. It's housing for about 100 to 200 miners, engineers, and staff. There's some private quarters for like officers and senior staff, and there's like large bunk rooms with basic amenities for the miners. There's a mess hall, a med bay, but so this is mainly just used like scouring through all of those rooms, like following the blips, trying to find any signs of life and getting them out as quickly as possible. I think your first test here is going to be like, it's not so much getting up there as like choosing a path that is going to be like making sure you have an escape route that is going to be long-term viable for the people you're going to be saving. So some sort of test along those lines, like a wise or something, to basically be like this is the right way to send them. And I guess part of it depends on your strategy. How are you planning on saving these people and then getting them out to like whatever ships are in the hangar bay? Just like finding them individually and sending them somewhere, going with them in like each time you save someone, gathering them in a cluster with you as you save them, and then going all back together. What's your plan?
That's a good question. I wonder if this is, and I don't know, Fang, I'm open to ideas, but I wonder if this is like almost like that situation with like firefighters where it's like a burning building where you get out as one at a time, as many as you can until it's too late, right? Kind of a thing.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. So like, you escort, one or
Yep.
two out and then just go as long as you can until it's no longer viable, kind of a thing. So it's basically, I think it's really a matter of speed, right? Because like that's what we're trying to, trying to...
that makes sense to me. Like you found
You said that it's like it's called residential area.
Yeah, basically it's.
Is there like a tannoy, like a announcement system for it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, probably there's something in like the mess hall probably that you could like a comm system.
Yeah, because I think that Fang would try and like do an announcement for people who can get out by themselves to try and do it.
Right.
Like this isn't something where you stay in your room and hope that it blows over. This is something that you now have to get out. The pirates are gone.
Yep.
And then,
Okay. Yeah, that's probably a transmissions test from one or both of you to.
yeah. Could I like fork in jury rigging or do jury rigging to like get it to work and
Sure.
do that
Yeah,
way,
I don't think you need to jury rig it itself, but I do think there is probably some fork level of jury rigging happening to do the transmissions test.
Cool.
So.
Yep. So yeah, it'll be transmissions.
What do you have for transmissions?
4, including my bonus.
Okay, all right. I have a 3, so I was just curious who had the higher one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a base 3, and then I get 1 for
Right.
my helmet or my implant in my head.
Can I help him
and
with
then-
transmissions or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So it'll be 1, 2 helps, and then 1 from you is 3 helps. Transmission. And what's my ob?
I think it's gonna be. I think it's a base ob 2, but we'll give a +1 ob penalty because, I mean, the mining outpost is being compromised, right? And there's might be damage to some systems that you might have to, again, jury rig or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, ob 3. Nice. Yep. So I imagine you guys find some sort of either working lift or out of the way stairwell that you can get up and down to this level in the first place. One of the dangers of a outpost like this getting compromised is it's so big that going up and down the stairs takes so long. And everyone uses the lifts, right? And once those lifts don't work or that's dangerous to use them, it just takes forever to get anywhere. So obviously you guys are Jedi, and there's no rule to like get up the stairwell in the first place. I assume you use the stairs and not the lifts. That's just general good practice in a situation like this. So you guys are going up the stairs fast, but it will be much slower getting a bunch of people down these stairs, especially if they're going by themselves. So that'll definitely be a factor here. It's just going to take a long time. But the transmission, like we do see Fang and Elowen make it to the mess hall and, push off some debris or whatever, and rig up this. It's mainly just like fixing a few things, right? That's the problem. They got like busted, and then you talking to the PA system, which goes through like the whole residential area, and inform them like the Jedi are here, like the Mandalorians or the pirates are gone, like let's go. And so that will, you do see immediately, Elowen, on your scanner, like the blips, a couple of the blips start to move, right? But you can tell like some of them are either too scared or maybe they're like hurt or something and they don't move. And so you have to start going towards them. So I assume we see that. You guys head off there. Cool. Yeah. Well, let's cut to Ryu and Jin then as they head down. So the first thing you're going to have to deal with is, at least Jin, the way to get down to those sublevels is through the refinery, which was probably where the explosion happened. So you can go that way, but you'll have to deal with whatever is down there currently, or you can attempt to find some other route to the sublevel. What do you guys do? And keep in mind you have some NPCs that you can grab too. Like if you needed some help with like mechanics or circuitry or jury rigging, you can grab like Scrap and or Garrel, if that's the route you want to take as well. What are you thinking?
Gosh, I'm just like wondering if we're even going to be able to, if we go through the way that we know, if we're even going to be able to make it through, because the explosion could have damaged the whole passageway.
Yeah.
That
is the risk.
Cave. I can't just move things.
I mean,
I'm muted.
Oh yeah. What were you saying?
Well, I jokingly said meditate for her to know, so we can find out if we can make it down there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I guess you can always do clairvoyance to try to get a vision of what you're supposed to do. That's one route.
Who has that?
I do not have skills in that.
Well, you both have. I think you both have meditation.
Yeah.
That's what I was referring to. You can do clairvoyance with meditation.
So
I mean, yeah, if the two of you
let's
get
try
together
that really fast.
I think like Jin, you have a 4 in it, right?
I do.
Yeah, I'll help you.
And then Ryu has a 2, so he can help you.
But
that's
what's
not
the
a bad
ob?
thing to
Because I need to level it up too.
It depends on the level of vision you want. I'll find it.
What do you think, Jen? What do we want to find out?
I guess the location of the best entrance to get to where we need to go.
I think that's going to be harder
Is that
than
asking
if
too
we
much?
just ask, is the way we know clear?
Right. So clairvoyance,
That's
the obs that it's giving me are about receiving visions of people specifically, or places. So the obs it says are receiving a vision of the current whereabouts and experiences of a close friend or loved one, ob 3. The current whereabouts and experiences of a rival or dreaded foe, ob 4. The current whereabouts and experiences of someone you've met in passing, ob 6. A vision of a formative moment in the life of a dear friend or deadly enemy, ob 7. A vision of the place where you will cross paths with someone you have never met before, or a vision of the impending consequences of an action that has already been taken, ob 8. So it sounds like it's mostly about like kind of getting in touch with people's memories and emotions and whereabouts. But let's
So
see.
what are we going? What's our goal as we go down there? What are we trying to get there to do? Are we trying to get the parts? I forget what we're doing down there for.
We're trying to rescue the Padawan and the parts.
Yeah,
Okay.
in theory, the Padawan has the parts with it.
So does she count as a close friend at this point to Jin?
I think at this
Probably
point
not
she
to
is.
me.
I think she's the equivalent of someone you've met in passing. I mean, you really had one conversation with her. Let's be real.
I thought her and Jin clicked or something. Maybe
I mean,
not.
yes. Maybe we can bump it down to like a 4, like the equivalent of a rival.
I think you should roll then, if that's what we want to do, and then we could just know where. Will that tell us how to get to her?
I think they could maybe give you a hint in the direction at least.
Okay.
I was going to say, we did not meet in passing. I talked her down from a giant.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, let's say Ob 4 meditation tests to like get a vision of her and where she is and maybe how to get to her.
Okay, and then...
All right. You got one help from me, I think.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can take a help from Chad.
Okay. And Ob 4?
Yes. Do you have any force tremors wise? You can fork that in.
Come on, you got this.
I can. So that's just that's one. So it's two helps.
2 helps. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Oh wow! I actually worked this time.
Nice. That's awesome.
So you guys put your Jedi heads together, and you see a vision, Jin, of she is what looks to be. She looks like she's in what looks to be a like storage vault, and most of this is like insulated storage vaults for ice and mineral stockpiles and backup generators and stuff. But she seems to be in a part of that level that is about like data storage.
It's very
like
cold there.
Archived data storage that like gets maybe put down here when it's no longer necessary to be readily accessed above in the command tower. And she seems to be looking through holovids, some sort of security footage, seems like. And it's outside of the mining outpost, like onto an icy field. She's like scanning through a bunch of these holovids, frantically and desperately. She does seem to have the grav sled near her.
But what's the hint? There's supposed to be a hint.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the idea is that that she's in these like storage vaults, and well, I guess there's two things. She whatever way she went down, it was big enough that she took the grav sled with her, right? So that's one thing. She didn't like climb down a chute or something.
Okay.
But that was also before the explosion. But also, I mean, Jin, you knew like there were pirates in there before, so it's unlikely she went through the same place you went with Fang. So there must be some other way, and it probably just amounts to searching it out, right?
Yeah, and wherever she's at, she's safe because it's insulated, it's temperature controlled, so she's probably okay.
It's temperature.
Well, it has data storage. It's got to be cold. Yeah, so then we could probably try looking for a place because it's not like she's going to die.
Yeah, and I think this is like you'll probably get an advantage die or whatever for whatever search roll you make. But yeah, how are you going to try to find the right route? What roll do you think? Or you just like
can I roll observation to see if there's like a console nearby that we can access that might tell us?
You know what? I think there will be. I don't think it's even a roll. I think there probably is a console. You'll have to make some sort of roll to access the console, but
okay, is Scrap with us? Like
he can be.
Can he do that?
He's good at this. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Scrap, can you try to see if someone's accessing holovids right now?
I suppose I could do that. Here, let me plug into the system. And he like sticks his whole hand into the slot. And yeah, I'll have him try to search it out. Because that's probably an easy thing that he might be able to, as long as he gets access to the system, he should be able to find whatever terminal she's accessing, and then maybe find a route from there to here.
Let's go, Scrap.
All right, let me find this. Okay. Electrical systems. Yeah, I think it's going to be Ob 3. So he can help himself with jury rigging and probably not mechanic. This isn't really this. It's circuitry specifically. Does anyone have a skill that you think would be helpful here as a fork?
No,
He's using circuitry to hack the computer.
not me.
Yeah, likely not, huh?
I do not have that skill.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here we go. I'm just gonna try it. Hey, there you go. Nice job, Scrap.
Nice.
It's a good roll. Okay, yeah. So he accesses it and he says, "Ah, yes, I see her. She's down in the storage level, sub basement B. It looks like there's a still operating lift, a few hundred meters from here, that way." And then he like points. I assume you guys run for it.
There's a lift
Yeah, he nods.
that works.
Yes,
anything
it
we
doesn't
can do
seem
to
like the
sh-
damage has reached that level yet. If the
Yes.
structure collapses any further, then it likely won't work anymore. But for now, it's fine. It
Well,
does
let's
seem
go.
like he's like the whole entire sub level seems to be still working.
Jin, let's go, right? Starts running that way.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, Scrap's like, do you want me to come with you, or am I staying here?
We've got comlinks, right?
Will we need him to access any like lift like the droids do in them shows and movie?
Oh yeah. I guess you guys do have comlinks, right? Like Fang gave a bunch of them to
Uh-huh.
you guys. So yeah, we'll say that he has one from the ship or whatever, right? And he's like,
Yeah,
all right, sounds
he
good.
should-
This frequency, right?
He should stay up there in case he can give us warning if something's going to happen.
Understood.
Okay.
I'll monitor the computer. Be safe. All right, so you guys head to the lift.
Yes.
We see you guys rush into it and then head down. All right, let's cut back over dramatically. So Alyssa and Josh, your characters are rushing through the what is now quickly filling with smoke and other poisonous gases chamber like from below. Let's have you guys make a fort test as you are trying to like hold your breath and generally not be like harmed by these like gases that are starting to fill this upper level.
Oh no.
Let's say an OB3 fort test.
Oh no.
And
Okay.
failure here, it doesn't mean like you pass out or whatever, but it'll be like, OB penalties or something, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, you got a 6
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Success from Josh.
I feel like I might as right. I definitely should spend
Yeah.
2 fate on this. Yeah, definitely. So.
Otherwise, you might be a liability here.
Yeah. No, fate
Fate
is
continues.
just so not our friend today.
Okay,
It
so
is
I think
so over.
for now, I think I'll just smack on a superficial wound, basically. You can OB penalty
Okay.
for. Actually, it wouldn't be a wound. Let's do in fatigue here. Oh no, wait. Is that gonna just be health and fort? Yeah, just put on a superficial wound. That's the easiest way to mark this. You're just generally like trying to breathe kind of heavy and get a little woozy. But you know, most of this can be montaged, right? You're just like saving random civilians and things. None of these people are terribly important to focus on. But Fang, you definitely can tell that like Elowen is not as hardy as you are and is starting to like take a beating here from the gases and stuff. Yeah, do you say anything as you guys are helping these people out? I'm imagining like Fang is at least like one of these people's like being thrown over his shoulder, and Elowen is leading another like woman by the hand and helping her towards the stairwell.
If you don't want to die, come.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Frank probably says, "Looking pretty rough, El. Get out before I have to drag you out too."
Not like
I
you
know
said.
we have a reputation for putting ourselves in danger instead of other people, but
I don't know if I can do that thing. Even if I could save one more, I think it's worth it.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, gotta get those empathy tests, you know? Okay, cool. So you guys continue to help people down. Let's come back over to Ryu and Jin then. And you guys get down the lift, and you are in sub-level B or sub-basement B or whatever he pointed out. And it is, rows upon rows of like data storage. And it's, pretty cold down here, which isn't super hard to maintain because it's an ice planet. But you guys are kind of, your breath is frosted as you start to wander about these towers, these data towers, trying to find her. It's a very extensive facility, so it takes a moment to search her out. But I do think it only takes it doesn't take super long before you're turning a corner and you see down an aisle, you see Riss crying into her hands, slumped on the floor. What do you do?
Well, I mean, you probably wouldn't be rushing over.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear what you said.
She said she's gonna rush over.
Yeah, I think Ryu would too, especially to see if she's okay.
Yeah, and she doesn't look like injured or whatever. She seems like emotionally distressed.
What's her name again?
Riss.
Riss. Do you want to talk to her or?
It's like, that's like, hey.
Hey.
Yeah, you can talk to her.
Jin doesn't always have a way with words.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Hey," and then Ryu looks over and goes, "Riss, is what happened? Obviously, there was an explosion, but are you okay?"
She's just sobbing into her hands, like she's cupping her face like this.
I think Ryu kneels down softly and in a comforting way, and puts his hand on her back and sees how she reacts.
She probably flinches away from it just by instinct, right? Like she doesn't like being touched. And so she goes, "Don't! I'm a monster. I knew it. I'm a."
No, you're Riss. What happened? No, you're not. Why are you saying that?
I found it. I found the vid. That day. He was right. When I saw it again, it all came back. He was right. He has to be right. Why would he do that?
I think Ryu looks back towards Jin and he's trying to get her to come over.
Just trying to figure out what to say.
Say more than hey.
Aren't you supposed to be trying to get her to be your Padawan?
Yes.
I'm like, come on.
Think right now.
Let me see something.
Yes, you could talk to her some more. You could try to look at the video yourself. There's a panel open on the data storage and it's not really the holovid isn't up anymore, but it looks obvious like you could press play on it again.
So I think Ryu still has no idea what she's talking about, but realizes that asking her more questions might make her more distraught. So he does get up and go to check out the holovids that she was looking at. And is it ready to play? Is she just watching the same one over and over, or?
Yeah. So she basically the video is of, it's a holovid of security footage of outside the mining outpost, and the spot that she's chosen, you go back a little bit and you see the spot she chose, and it was basically a wide shot of what looks like a crash landed ship of some sort, or no, I guess we're not crash landed. It's like a parked Jedi ship on the ice of this planet, and it seems like this is a pretty far-ranging camera. Like, it's not right next to the outpost. It's like some random perimeter camera they set up for some reason. And it happened to catch this moment. And you see this like exchange between the two of them, and there's not like audio or anything, but you do see like the moment where the master tries to kill her, right? And it's like there's nothing in here that like is more damning than what she already told you, but it's just like you think it's just seeing it again just made her like collapse again into herself and like doubt everything, and
so he basically tried to pull Luke when he tried to kill Kylo because he
well, I don't know what you're talking about because those movies aren't canon.
That's why I put it in quotes.
Yeah.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, like that. From what you remember from her story, it was basically her master saw in the Force that she was going to be a danger, and
but wasn't he bad? Wasn't he a bad guy too?
Yes. Basically, I don't remember how much you guys found out.
Well, I was going to get framed for what he did.
Yeah, I know about him.
Oh, yes.
Because
we
I
made a
investigated
circles test.
against
That's
him.
what it was.
Right.
I investigated him. So.
Yes, he was part of the plot to like get Padawans killed on Terrace too. Yeah.
Well,
So he was going to kill her anyways.
Yes.
Like whether he was a bad guy or not. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like basically he's part of some weird Jedi cult that like thinks that they can purge the Jedi Order of people who are going to maybe become Sith one day.
Oh.
They can see into the future and know that they're going to turn the dark side and then kill them preemptively.
And so he went to attack her first, and she killed him in defense.
No, you didn't kill him. She basically like attacked him and like stole his lightsaber and ran away. Ran away into the.
But he attacked her first.
Yeah.
And then he left.
You see him talking to her, and then she gets scared, and like he's like, "What do you mean?" Right? And then he like zoom, lights his lightsaber up, and then attacks her, and she defends herself for a little bit, and then manages to pull his lightsaber away, and then like maybe hits him once with a lightsaber, and then and runs away. Right.
And then he took off.
Yeah, he got in the ship and took off.
Okay.
He's like, she'll die in the snow. It'll be fine. Bye.
Yeah.
Like, he looks down at like
the center of the chest, and because he's not that one. Because he's not Qui-Gon Jinn, he survives.
Yeah, well, he hurt her. She hurt him, and that scared him enough to be like, I'm not gonna chase after this crazy Padawan. I'm just gonna head out of here. She'll die in the snow. Was basically his mindset.
So Ryu sees the video, and he goes back to Riss, and he kneels down and he says, "Riss, you did nothing wrong. You're a Jedi. Your master tried to attack you, and you did what you had to do. You did nothing wrong. I need you to believe that about yourself. I need you to believe that you were following the Jedi code, that you were trying to defend yourself from someone you trusted who betrayed you. And I understand how you feel because the dark side is scary, but what you did was not wrong." And then he kind of like tries to console her.
Sure.
You can't let those. Oh, sorry. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
Never mind. I was just gonna say to her, like, you can't let those man's words cloud how you see yourself.
Yeah. So it does sound like Ryu is mainly making that role there, and unfortunately he doesn't have like a skill for this really.
I have persuasion being learned, dude.
Yeah, I think you're trying to learn it, right?
Yes.
So I guess we roll. You can at least attempt it.
She's gonna attack me. You're wrong. She just laughs.
I she would do that.
If I fail, I have nothing. No, I don't know. Don't think so.
Can I throw anything in to help him out?
How about stewardship? Because that's like helping.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously said something, so I think you can help him. Actually, you can help a stat with a skill. So you can help because he's basically rolling a stat. It's untrained for him. But you have a 6 in persuasion. You can still give him 2 dice.
Okay. Yep.
And then I'll give you another die, Ryu, because I mean you've already had a similar conversation. Like you and Jin had a similar conversation with her about this before. So this is like you're trying to reinforce this and continue to like help her towards this right path.
Yeah.
So you can take another die for that. It's gonna be an
Okay.
ob 4, unfortunately.
Okay. Can I? You can't fork in if it's being learned.
No.
Okay. So I have 2 helps.
No, 3
Hold on.
because of that advantage die.
Okay. But this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Base ob 4. I don't
Yep.
know if it's possible. I guess it's
It'll
barely
it'll
possible.
double, yeah. Oh yeah. We forgot to
I'm
take that
still-
off.
Oh man.
Here you go. No, that's fine. Well, it is an 8, right? It should be an 8.
But still, I still don't have.
Well, you got 2 6s. You got. No,
I
you
only have
got
3 fate. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have because I didn't get any from last session.
Yeah. Up to you if you want to risk it.
No, I haven't. Otherwise, I'll have nothing left.
Go ahead and mark
Because I
that.
haven't been able to work towards any of my
Yeah.
stuff this time either.
You go ahead and mark a bubble towards persuasion though. You're still learning it. Don't you have a what's it called?
I have a call on for something.
That's what I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you have charismatic. Okay, we can do that at least. So you can reroll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. These aren't open ended, so don't use the luck one. Here I'll just do it for you. Do type in 5d6 greater than 4. Okay, so you have 5 successes. Would you like to spend fate at this point? You're at 5 out of 8. You have 2 6s and a failed dice you could still reroll.
But I would use all my fate up.
You would use 2 fate.
Well, what happens if I fail?
I think it's a good question. I mean, Jen could step in and try to do something else that I guess she's helping. I think mostly so. This is a rehash of a conversation you guys have already had. I think the idea here is that this is her still being shaken by the whole thing, and there will be some other consequence later on that she hasn't shaken this. She's still worried about it. There'll be something else that will happen. I don't think she's gonna attack you guys. But I think this is you're trying to get her
but
to
if we fail, is it going to reinforce her bad thoughts about herself?
I think so, right? And whether or not she admits that to you, right? This is making rolls to make sure she's going towards the light side instead of the dark side, step by step. And failing this will mean she takes 1 step towards the dark side.
Can we just go back in time and have Jin talk to her instead?
Does Jin have another skill besides persuasion that she
Soothing
can use?
platitudes.
Yeah, okay, so that could be something you could try. She can't use persuasion because she already helped your roll with persuasion.
Right.
It's fine if you want to just leave it as is, Chad.
I don't want to fail and make it harder for her to move towards the light side or stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, up to you if you want to spend that fate. That's your chance, I guess, at this point. Here, I can give you stats. You'd be rolling 3 dice against ob. Functionally, what is it? Functionally ob 3, which is a 12% chance. 12.5.
But then I have
chance.
1 fate left.
Then you have 1 fate left. Yeah.
I'll do it.
All right.
How do I get persuasion? What else do I have to do to get it?
You have to keep making these tests, and then eventually you've got 2 tests towards it.
And I think
5. I think you've upgraded. Yeah, it's that number there. It's 5. I think you upgraded your will at one point during this because you made a bunch.
Yeah.
Of
So how does it let me have it get off being learned? I don't think I've ever had one go.
So you need 3 more tests,
and then I'll have the
3
skill.
more routine tests specifically.
Oh. And then I'll have the skill.
And then you'll have
2.
the skill, and it'll open at 2. Yes. If it's half of your will rounded down. So if you do end up upgrading it to 6 before you open persuasion, it'll open at 3 instead.
Okay.
Which is a possibility.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, cool.
Do I just use the fate die?
Yeah, you can do that there. Put in remaining knob of 3 and dice of 3. All right.
Oh.
All good. You still get that bubble, and then mark that fate spent in will. Okay, so Jin, again, she's not like visibly freaking out necessarily more than she was before or anything in response to this. But she's not calmed down entirely yet. You can at this point, like lean down and try to do soothing platitudes.
Does that count as a test in will for me? Difficult or
No.
challenging?
So the way it works is if it's a routine test, then it's the bubble. If it's a difficult or a challenging, it goes on your will instead.
Okay.
Yeah. You could also command her. I'm not sure exactly that's exactly what you want, but you do have that skill too.
How do you roll stewardship? Is that like
It's mostly a longer
wound?
convalescence sort of thing. Yeah, it's
Oh.
like helping people recover from things.
how do you roll etiquette?
That is when you're like, usually like in a noble court or some other place
okay.
where like having proper etiquette and using the proper titles for people would matter.
You know,
So when
like in front
when
of
you go to the Jedi
Jedi
Council, yeah, exactly, the etiquette will matter there.
Because we're all country bumpkins in comparison.
Yeah, or when you're talking to
Yeah.
a Padawan, because she's below our station.
Jin does not have etiquette, so that won't help her.
I have no etiquette. I spent 7 years wandering the outer rim.
Yeah. Do you do a soothing platitudes then? Is that your plan?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, what do
been
you say?
like, I had it and now it's gone.
I tried to sound like a good Jedi talking to her.
Yeah, I mean, you did a good job. I think like the main thing for Ryu is he's like this gruff old man who doesn't actually come off as kindly as he wants to.
Just, I
He's
don't know,
not
it's like-
supposed to be old. He's supposed to be
Yeah,
like
he's
35.
curmudgeonly, I guess is what I mean.
You're not in danger from him anymore. You're not in danger right now. We're here for you. Now let's leave this place together.
Cool. Yeah, that's the soothing platitudes for sure. Trying to look and see if there's any other thing going on here. Nope, I don't think so.
What's my ob?
I'm gonna give you advantage die because of previous, stuff you've done with her. But it is still a 4.
Oof. Oof. Okay.
Do you want to spend one of your persona?
Oh, how many do I have? I have to make sure I have one. Always in
Yeah,
case.
you have 2 right now, so you can spend 1 and still be safe.
The
Yeah,
pity that Chad doesn't have quite a little bit higher telepathy, otherwise he could mind trick her into saying, "You're fine."
You're totally fine. Forget your trauma.
So I get 1 advantage.
Yep.
And
And then you can put 1 in Artha if you want to spend that persona.
1 Artha. Ob 4.
4.
And I can spend fate points too, right?
You can,
Maybe?
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, see, there we go. That's a close roll. Okay, you can spend 2 fate points to reroll 2 dice.
Yeah, I have.
I should have given her a accommodative.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. I thought I was what was my character in the other game? The persuading guy.
Yeah, you thought you were Alpheus for a second there.
Yeah.
So it's remaining ob 2?
1.
Oh, remaining ob 1. But then
Two
dice is 2.
Yep. So a good chance here.
Well. Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Yay.
Fate is finally on our side.
I was gonna blame you if we failed that because you said it.
Yeah. So I think like she does eventually calm down, and she says, "Leave. We're going to leave."
Yes. And you'll be okay.
been-
We won't leave you. We'll leave this place, but we won't leave you.
I don't know what I'd do if I left. What do I do?
You can't leave those dark memories behind without leaving this place. Gotta start somewhere fresh.
Where? With the Jedi? They'll never accept me. I'm dangerous. The Jedi Council will look at me and know that, just like he did. maybe I can control it, but they won't risk that.
No, that was just him. Trust me. I don't know. I feel like I'd be insensitive because he's like your master. Just be like,
He's a
"That guy."
jerk. The Jedi Council, like, literally, like, told me to go after him. Like, they don't accept him. But like, accept
Yeah.
her, maybe.
I was like, that bozo tried to frame me for murder.
I mean, you could just say something as simple as like, he's not a good man, and the Jedi Council sees that, right?
Yeah, it's like, trust me, he's not a good man. I don't think the Jedi could justify any of his actions at this point. They will give you a chance. I'll stake my life on it.
She grabs your hand. She says, "All right. I trust you." And you look in her eyes and you know that like if you let her down, she's gonna melt, right? Like her entire mental well-being is riding on all that. So good luck.
I'll leave the Jedi Order if I have to. Like,
Yeah. So you guys rush toward. You grab the grab sled and you rush towards the exit. And of course, the lift. I think when you get toward, you're navigating the aisles and stuff and getting back towards the lift, and then you hear on the comms, you hear Scraps like, and it's kind of coming in choppy because you're like below ground, right? But he says, see the lift down."
of course it is.
"I can try something, but I worry it's gonna be dangerous." "What do you want to do?" "I don't want to leave you stuck down there."
Can we ask Risk, is the lift how you found your way down here?
Yeah, I think she says, I'm trying to think of an alternate route that she could have taken. That wouldn't be a lift. It's mostly all lifts, right? I think she says, she shakes her head and she says, No, I took one of the feeding, no, not the feeding. There's a big tube. I think it probably ran minerals or water down here at one point. It was empty. I just made my way down there, pulling the grab sled along. I suppose we could climb back up, but yeah.
What do you think, Rio? Want to try some climbing? Can probably try and use telekinesis to push things out of the way if need be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's the best way to get out of this? I don't know what else we could do.
Yeah,
So,
'cause it's the lift
Scrap
is-
did say like he can try to reroute power and like get the lift back online, but it will be dangerous.
For us, if we ride it, or
Yeah, right. Like he can't guarantee that it won't like stop halfway through or fall or something.
I say
right?
we do it. I say we take the lift. Otherwise, how are we going to get up to the top? We're going to climb stairs for 8 hours.
It's a tube. I guess. Is there anything we can do?
Isn't there a stairs to go up? Isn't that what you were saying?
There might be a stairwell down here somewhere, but it's going to be really difficult to get the grab sled with all your materials
And
up
we
that
need
way.
the stuff.
Yeah. So
we have to take the lift. Otherwise, we lose the parts.
Yeah. So she did get down here with the grab sled through the tube, but it is a lot slower of a way to go down. One thing to consider here is even if the lift does like fail halfway through, you could telekinesis yourself up with the lift.
Oh, so I'm
Right.
not gonna smash into the ceiling this time.
Yeah, well, in theory. Cool. Well, I'm gonna have Scrap make a jury rigging test to see if he can like make this thing work one last time before it dies forever. And if that fails, then we have telekinesis, right?
Yes,
All right.
technically do.
Yeah, Ob 3.
Doesn't
Jury
she
rigging.
also have jury rigging? What's
do
her
not.
Riss
Oh,
does.
Riss might.
Oh, I
She
think
she got
does.
she got us up the lift the first time, the other lift.
Yeah, she can offer helping dice, and maybe
Right,
Scrap is like
hello.
walking her through some things that she can do down there too. Okay. Here we go. He's rolling 7 dice against Ob 3. Oh, honestly, he probably could have gotten another. Could have gotten 2 more forks, but he didn't need them. All right, cool. Yeah, so he's doing the jury rigging, and like it's not a fun ride. Like it feels dangerous, but it does eventually get all the way to the top. So let's come back to Elwyn and Fang as we close this out. So the gases are not causing any more of a problem, but now the heat is starting to get to you guys, and you can feel like if this keeps up, like the structural integrity of this structure is not gonna last, and something's gonna bend, and things are gonna start to fall. So there's a combination of dealing with the heat. So let's make another fort test. I think this will only be Ob 2 this time. But yeah, obviously it's gonna be harder for Elwyn because she has the penalty already.
Okay. 2.
All right, that's a closer roll.
Okay. Gosh. Okay. Do I really? Yeah. Fate. I swear I'm gonna spend 2, and I swear if I get 0,
Just throw your keyword.
I'm really just gonna lose it.
Hey, there you go. All right, you're struggling through the pain. Fang there.
Yeah, I rolled a 5.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Okay, perfect. Cool. Yes, you guys are pushing through. But now we got a speed test, right? You got to do it fast. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of the best way to frame this. Let's have both of you make speed tests, and let's just have it be graduated, and we'll just kind of vibe check it at that point and see what we think the rolls mean. So yeah, base Ob 1 for speed, and we'll just see how high you get.
Oh wait, sorry.
Nice. Way to go, Elwyn there. So I think this means, like, I think the higher you get, the more chance you have of getting everyone out and yourselves out safely. So I do think, like, we're looking at a range from 2 to 6 here, right? Where, like, Elwyn is getting out a good amount of people, and though I guess you have that odd penalty, so maybe you're about par with Fang. I think we're kind of at a moderate level of success from both of you, or mid to minor to moderate level of success. Where basically you are going to have to make that triage decision here at some point. Like, it's coming up right now.
Can I spend 1 more fate to?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, I think currently your level is, you're going to have to basically leave some people behind or risk yourselves utterly, unless, you spend some fate.
I'm going to spend 1 fate to reroll
those 2 6s.
the 2 6s, yeah. See if maybe fate will like me. I'll see if I can just push my luck a little bit more.
Hey, nice. Yep, that's a good level of success there. What about you, Fang? Do you want to spend 1 fate?
Okay, with what we have currently, what are we looking at for the next, like, 1 or 2 successes?
Yeah, so I'm thinking with if Alyssa had gotten 7 successes, she would have, like, had full success, and for her part, like, she's gotten everyone she can get out and herself out. Fang sitting at 2 successes on a speed, even though he doesn't have that odd penalty, is like, at one point there is you have to spend a bunch of time digging someone out of like debris. And it takes way too long. And Elowen's like doing other stuff, right? She's like getting people out, but like we end up with Fang here alone trying to get one last person, and it is down to the wire, very dangerous situation.
Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna spend just all 3 of my fate then, and do.
Oh yeah, the proprioception. Yeah.
Try the proprioception for like the last time. It has not worked very well in the past, but we will give it a go in future.
All right, one more success. So it's not quite as dangerous of a situation, but still, nearly the same. So there's a child here, right? One of the kids of the miners that maybe was visiting their parent or something from Terrace. You're not sure why they're here exactly, but yeah, a child stuck in the debris, and it's like so far down, like even with like telekinesis, you're having a really hard time getting to her without like collapsing something on her. Like when the explosion rocked, like a bunch of stuff, like this part of the outpost, like kind of started bending and collapsing already, and it's only gotten worse since you've started digging. What do you do to try to handle the situation? Your speed is not on your side, but you might still be able to do something. You're just trying to do, you could just try good telekinesis roll to bring it to the end.
Yeah, I mean that would be my last fate completely. So, well, as in last persona. So,
right. Oh yeah, you are fresh out of Artha, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was hoping for not 2 ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, telekinesis. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of other options. You could jury rig something, maybe.
I could probably go jury rigging.
But yeah, keep in mind, like every test you do will spend more of your precious time. So Elowen, I think you can make a choice here yourself. I think you've gotten everyone else out. The only person remaining is there, but you also can sense that like the stairwell you just came down is like starting to get really hot, and if you go back up, you're gonna have to make another test to like deal with the hazards and like make it to Fang somehow and help out. So it's a risk if you want to try doing that.
Ow, I'm so speedy, but I have to go one more time.
Yeah, and I don't think it's even like about speed at this point. It's just like pressing through the hazards of the environment.
I don't even know what I would do if I got up there, though. In all frankness, like I do, right. I think Elowen will go up, but I'm just like logistically thinking I don't even know what I would contribute other than I guess my 1 telekinesis,
moral support, and 1 die. Yeah.
But she's gonna go up though. Yeah, as much as that sucks for me right now.
All right, I think this is one last fort test. We'll make it an ob 3. But keep in mind, you have proprioception too, so you can also spend some of that excess fate to reroll 5s and 4s if you really need to.
Okay. All right. Face ob 3.
All right.
Okay.
So you can spend 1 fate to reroll that 6, 2 fate to reroll the 6 and the 3, or 4 fate to reroll all 3 of those dice again.
Well, I don't have 4 fate, so I guess I'm just gonna go with the 2.
All right, sounds good.
2 dice 2. Oh.
Nice. Fate's finally coming around.
Thank you, Fate.
Firefighter Elowen.
I upgrade my 4 to a 4.
Nice. See, yeah. Firefighter Elowen coming in clutch here. She is pushing through using all of her Jedi abilities that she has at her disposal to trudge through the fire and the fire and the flames, to make the smoke and the flames, whatever, to get to Fang to help out. Fang, what are you trying? What is Elowen like stumble in on Fang attempting to start doing?
probably like hanging down with one hand on the ledge, gripping on, and then like reaching out down the other hand to try and grab onto the hand of the girl.
Yeah. So,
So you probably stumble in like 4 fingers, just on a ledge.
right. Yeah, you just see his hand. Yeah, you look over like, ah.
Okay, so what are you attempting to do? What can I help you with, I guess?
Yeah, mechanically, what are you attempting to do, I guess is my question.
I guess the couple things I'm thinking of is either I'm trying to jury rig like a winch, and do it that way. Because I do have like my what's it called? I do have my like utility belt and stuff there. I don't know that there's actually much else that I can do at this point that's on me.
Because I think you had said you were going to try jury rigging, but it just sounded like you were like reaching out.
Sorry, yeah. So I'm basically trying to set up with like a rope,
Okay.
like a winch up.
Yeah. Okay.
So can I just like help with telekinesis, like move some like pebbles?
Or even just like steady him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. With jury rigging, I'm trying to think of the equivalent here. Trying to make a winch. Yeah, probably OB4 for altering a device to behave as a similar piece of tech. There you go. OB4 jury rigging with help from Elowin. Yeah, and I mean, Elowin, you can attempt to like if this goes wrong, he might fall, and then you could do telekinesis to like catch him, right?
I have a 1. I don't.
I'm just saying.
I've spent like all my fate rolling those stupid fort tests.
I know.
A couple of these are reaches, but can I do soothing platitudes to like calm the child and actually get them to cooperate as a fork, and then telekinesis as a fork to like put things together while still like because act as a third hand kind of thing.
Yeah,
Put
sure.
things together.
Yep.
And sorry, one help from Alyssa?
Yeah.
3 total, and then OB4. Oh, whoops. 2 rigging, 3 helps. OB4.
Nice. Nice. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think we probably get the like epic moment where like it seems like you're not gonna quite reach her, and probably like I mean, it's from the way you describe this, I'm thinking like the floor was like collapsed, right? And you're like reaching down, like trying to get her, and she's been able to like kind of poke her head through the debris and like reach out an arm, and then the floor starts to buckle, right? And she screams, and then like drops, and like I think what you do Josh, like Fang just like lets the rope like slacks, let the slack go on the rope, and like goes to the very edge of what the slack will offer, because you were like being careful before, right? And like trying to inch your way down, and you just like let it go. And Alyssa, you're trying with all your might to telekinesis like steady him, and you just let it go all the way to the end of the rope, and it's just enough to like grab her arm, and the debris has kind of like buckled, like kind of broken around her and fallen down, so that you can grab her, and like she's not like yanked down with the debris or anything like that. She's just kind of hanging in midair as like the whole floor just collapses beneath you. And you're hanging and swinging, right? Like, with the girl, and you manage to like swing her back up and get her with a good grip under your arm, and then, press the thing, and it slowly winches back up, right? And with your help and with telekinesis help from both of you. And we have Jedi hero moment, and I think it's good enough to like we'll say. I mean, Alyssa already braved the fort test of like getting up here. I think you're in armor, and I think we can just assume like let it ride. You've saved the day. You've managed to get the girl out. You rush down, and you get out to the dock the hangar bay just as the structural integrity of the thing buckles. And I guess Geralt has to make it. Well, no, you can fly the thing without what's it called?
Yeah, it
just you
can
can't go to
flight
space
in the atmosphere. Yeah.
But you needed didn't you need like a fabricator or something? You need like
I have no
Well,
idea.
fabrication
we're not really
equipment.
sure what we need because it's like we did succeed on the fabricator to actually like fix it, but then we didn't also
It was like a
we
temporary
were kind of
fix.
wanting to shore it up or something like that.
Yes. Okay. I think what's probably going to happen here is you guys get everyone, like you've gotten everyone you can onto the Dawn Chaser or another ship that was like still on the hangar bay. Corsavel, after being freed, right, has started to gather people up. And I think the Dawn Chaser is the last ship to go off of the dock, and that's when the command tower falls, right? Right as you guys, and we probably get a cool moment of Elwyn like banking up as much as she can without like hurting the ship or you guys, and gets out of the way just in time as the command tower falls down, and kind of like ice and snow just crack and fly up into the air as this whole command tower just like falls into the like rift here in the snow. And I think we can kind of abstract. We can make a roll for. I think we end the session here and kind of do any denouement stuff from this arc next time we get a chance to play, and then go straight to Jedi Council after that. I think the most dramatic stuff has all happened, and we can kind of move past it. And I'm also totally fine if we want. I know we're really late. I'm fine if we just want to end here and do any sort of bits and other stuff in the Discord chat whenever we can get around to it. We don't have to like sit here and do all the Artha, and there's probably a lot. But I'm happy to do that off screen if you guys want to wrap it up now, because I know we're late. Oh, you're muted, Chad.
Do you think that's going to take long?
Probably. Like, enough stuff happened this session dramatically that it probably would be worth like taking more time to go through it.
Okay.
And so I feel like maybe we can just do that on like
I'm
Discord
okay
or
with
something.
that if that's cool with everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. We're over time, so cool. Well, there you go. That's been Red in Tooth and Claw. We'll talk about anything we got next time. Before we jump back into the game, just so the audience
Maybe
is
we can
informed
finally
as well.
get off this planet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I kind of want to like fast track any of that other fiddly bit that we need to worry about in terms of like repairing the ship and whatever. I think you've done all the things you need to do to like get off this planet and start heading towards the Republic, right?
Sweet.
So. All right, cool. Thanks for playing, guys. That was a lot of fun. I really
was
liked that was a pretty cool little series of dramatic moments and cool Jedi things. I'm sure you guys will get lots of empathy tests and whatnot for being cool Jedis.
I better.
Yeah, exactly.
Firefighter, Elwyn
Yeah.
right here.
Exactly.
And
All right.
Josh, your speech in the beginning was
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, you're definitely getting
Really
embodiment for that.
incredible. I really
Chef's
want
kiss.
to clip that. Like, that was just awesome.
Yeah, we definitely should. All right, thanks for playing, guys. Have a great night.
See ya.
Adios.
You too.